Yo, good morning everyone. Welcome to today's video. It's currently 6 in the morning. I think I still got my bed here. And I'm in front of Japan's newest hard off. This is a first for me. There's actually some guys camping out in front. They've been saying they've been camping here since 2 in the morning. And we'll see. We're all waiting in line to get a ticket to go wait in line later, and then the ticket will tell your number in the actual line. After which I'm probably gonna get 5 more coffees. But yeah, this is today's video. It's definitely gonna be interesting. Let's see what we make of it. So I was actually really early, which is good. I'm number 7 in line. A lot of these guys are part of a group that are basically dedicated to finding all of these hard off stores and going to them. Some of them have actually been to every single one in Japan. So they're gonna go to these openings to keep that tradition going, because at that point you gotta keep it up. And it's actually been pretty fun. This is really reminiscent of a midnight release of consoles that we used to do back in the day. So it's not as chaotic as the other one, but it's gonna be later in the day. But for now, everyone's just exchanging business cards and doing the whole courtesy thing. It's fun. Like, it's definitely starting to get a bit more crowded. Still weird that we're doing this for a thrift store. Imagine that. Number 5, boys. That's really low. Which number did you get?
7.
Let's go. So this guy went to every single hard off in Japan. It's 941s. 今日は何番ですか?
今日6番。
6番. Okay, he's number 6 in line. メダルもありますか?
メダルごめんなさい、今日持ってないです。
Oh, he didn't bring the medal today, but he also got a medal. When are you gonna get your gold card?
When I do the whole country twice is what you have to do.
Twice? I didn't know you had to do it. Oh, there it is. He got a picture of it.
メダル。
Oh, wow.
ゴールしたらもらえるメダル。
Wow.
です。
All right. Getting some quick breakfast before we head back in. 4、3、2、1、オープンです。大変お待たせいたしました。お待たせしました。ありがとうございます。お見事です。ありがとうございます。Right, so I have to switch to narration mode here because it was just so chaotic that I really didn't have any time to talk while I was doing this. Of course, it was also incredibly loud, so that was kind of impossible. But as is tradition, they tend to hide certain things in the junk section, and it seemed like everyone knew about that. So that's what you're looking at. Everyone is just bum rushing the junk section and trying to find those little deals. This was the only time I was actually able to go into this junk section and try to find anything, because for the rest of the day it was completely packed. So this is one of those cool things that I found. It was a Luigi branded Wii Motion Plus controller. I put it in my basket really quick here. And here you can see another gun con. I can always use an extra gun con. This was 500 yen in the box, but I really regret not bringing my GoPro, because usually when I'm streaming, the camera's on my shoulder and I have both hands, but now it was way too chaotic to hold my camera and dig through all these boxes with one hand. What is that gold one?
Gold, yeah. That's a Twitter.
So while it was literally too chaotic to even stand up in a space like that, let alone crouch down into these baskets, I decided it was time to move on to the game section, which turned out to be a really good idea because there were definitely some gems to be had in here. As always, I move into the N64 section to see what I need for my complete collection, which is something that I'm really trying to complete this year. And here's something you don't see every day. Just like in the West, Japan has these weird little dictionary type applications where they try to use the Game Boy for other things than just video games. This happened to be a word learning app for university students. And since we're at the Game Boy section, here is a Game & Watch gallery. I dropped it immediately, but it actually fell in my basket. And for $16.50, that's a great price for a Game & Watch gallery. So the rest of the games in this section seems to be very average price. There was nothing too interesting about these. Which means it's time to move on to the PlayStation, Dreamcast, and Saturn games. And right off the bat, here is a Street Fighter 02. for $550. I put this in my basket, even though I already have it, because there were a couple of friends that were also here today, and I really thought they could use it as well. And this has to be one of my favorite finds today, a Biohazard 2 for $550. And for some reason, this game has been really climbing up the price. So to find one for $550 is a really good deal. Now, this one really caught me off guard. It's a Pepsi Man, one of the rarest PlayStation games, for 19,000 yen. That's like $175. Just chilling on the shelf, not even in a glass case or nothing. So the rest of the PlayStation games weren't that interesting, so it's time to move on to the Dreamcast and Saturn. Just like the PlayStation games, there wasn't too many interesting titles over here, but it's still fun to see what a store like Heart of would consider to be a general selection for a new location. Then for $1650, it's a Gojira. Can't really say I'm a big fan of this series of games, but if you're a Godzilla fan, of course it's a must-have. Then here's a Atelier Marie for the Saturn. I didn't know this came out on the Saturn. I recently picked this up for the PlayStation, and I've actually haven't had the chance to play it yet, but I am looking forward to it. One of my big collection goals this year is more DS and 3DS games, so I thought it would be a good idea to look at some of those today as well. I was surprised to see Pokemon Sun and Moon going for like 1,000 yen, especially since all the Game Boy versions are so expensive these days. But here is Snack World for the 3DS, a game I've always wanted to try, and for $550, that's really a no-brainer. Here is Taiko no Tatsujin DS, a game that I think is a Japan exclusive. Maybe I should have picked this one up. Freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, a game that was exclusive to Japan and Europe, a Zelda spin-off that I'm surprised the Americans never got. Here's a cool little Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D. As both a fan of Donkey Kong and puzzle games, I kind of regret not picking up this Jungle Climber for 550 yen. This was a good deal. Then here's a Pokemon Troze, a puzzle game that's really fun. I thought I had this, but turns out I didn't, so I'm definitely picking this one up. On the PSP, here is Kenka Banchu 5. It's a high school based fighting game adventure. I have it on the PlayStation 2, and if you're looking for a fun little Japanese exclusive for the PSP, I can definitely recommend that one. And back to the junk section, but as you can see, this is not happening. I was not going back in there, but my friend Matt seems to have found something down here in the glass case, and it's a Metroid Prime for the Gamecube. That's a really good find.
No, I wouldn't get that, man.
Yeah, what a terrible idea.
I wouldn't get that.
Yeah, what a piece of junk.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if anything stands out, but
Nothing like crazy.
yeah, no, it hasn't been that crazy so far.
I feel like the last one had much better
Oh yeah,
deals.
I'll never
going on.
forgive you for the victor. I got some good stuff. Biohazard 2 is not 500 yen anymore.
Yeah, was it go for more?
Do you want the zero? I have it. I just grabbed it because it's 500 yen and Street Fighter
Let
Zero.
me see, actually. I don't think I have that.
Take your time. It's here if you need it.
It's time to have a look at their glass section. This is usually where they keep all the premium and expensive stuff. And it looks like this one is very well stocked. The prices are all over the place, so I think we're gonna have to look at this one a bit more in depth. But from what I can see, it looked pretty good. It's always fun to see what the cream of the crop and the most popular items are in a store like this. One thing that stands out to me was this Neo Geo Pocket color down there. The price was pretty high at about 15,000 yen, but it seems that's what they go for these days. This was a pretty sun-faded but really good price, a Denshirigo N64 controller. Right next to this Bass Landing Tsurikon, the fishing controller. I already have the normal fishing controller and the game separately, but I really like this box, so I'm definitely grabbing this. That one's going in the basket. Then here is a Saturn Denshirigo controller. I think this is the only one that I don't have. I just didn't feel like carrying this today, so I didn't get it. But back to the glass case, there were some definite bangers in there. I spotted a Mother 3 for 5,000 yen. And I figured I would just like slowly pan over the case so you guys can get a general idea of what they were offering, since it was a lot. Here's the second part of the case. It was also very, very interesting. I spotted a Mr. Driller for the WonderSwan color. I don't think I've ever seen that one in person before. And a lot of people have been asking me to show more DSs and 3DSs. So here they are. They range from about 4,000 to 7,000. And there was even a gold Game Boy Advance and some Game Boy colors in the back. Now, I really like their selection of 3DS LL or XLs in the West, especially all these special editions that were kind of like sprinkled in between the normal ones. And here's their console section, which I thought was also pretty well organized. We've got some Mega Drives in the front and then some boxed Sega Saturns and another Mega Drive in the back there. Not the best bargain at 11K or 7,000 for a boxed Saturn, but not bad either. Surprisingly, another classic that I don't have yet, The Legend of Zelda, Kaze no Takuto, The Wind Waker.
Gamecube.
Which, if you've been following my live streams at twitch.tv/4amlaundry,
Who the f is 4am laundry?
you would know that another big goal that we're going for this year is a bigger GameCube collection. I've highly slept on these games for a while now, but no more. No more sleeping on the flimsy cardboard outer sleeves of the GameCube games like Dojin the Giant, a game that was pretty ahead of its time. Then we can't forget Pikmin 2, another GameCube classic, one that has been steadily rising in price. I may just have missed the boat on the golden age of GameCube games. Then checking back on some of these PlayStation 2 games, their initial D seems to be going for $27.50, which is okay. That's about the price that this goes for, so no day one deals here. Just to be sure, double checking some of these Famicom games. We've got Wagyan Land 3 over here, and I had to double check the Super Famicom games as well, just to see if there's anything in there that I've missed, but I either have all of these games or they just weren't that good of a deal. Except for this one over here, a complete Chrono Trigger for about 2,000 yen. That is a good price, even with the scuffed corner over there. That's a game that has been steadily rising in prices these days. But like I said before, this Super Famicom N64 Famicom section isn't that crazy. There's no like real deals to be had in here. And for an opening like this, I would rather focus on some of those games instead. I really like that they had some of these pretty uncommon LCD games like Dr. Slump's Arale over here. And whatever this was next to it, I have no idea what this is, but they look cool. And for 16,500, a boxed WonderSwan color, that is actually a decent price for that, since these have also heavily been going up in prices lately. Then here's a neat little device, a PlayStation Eye for the PlayStation 3. It's a webcam that was used for some of the games, and I've never seen it separate in a box like this. It was a pretty cool accessory to find. Of course, since this is connected to a hobby off instead of just being a hard off, there's a really big selection of anime figures, toys, trading cards, and all kinds of other stuff. I always wonder how these American toys get all the way over here to Japan. I don't even know what this is. Before moving to Japan, I was always into these model kits. I really like building Gunpla and all the other non-Gundam model kits. I don't really have the time anymore for these, but Hobby Off would definitely be a place that I could recommend for this. Like this ANA Special Edition Gundam and all these other big perfect grades and real grades all the way up here. It's really fun, but like I said, I just don't have the time for this these days. Another cool thing that I'm not really into these days, but do acknowledge, is Lego. They have a bunch of them at Hobby Off. A lot of you guys are really into these Lego sets. And here's this Lego Studio Architecture. Don't know if that's a good deal or not, but here it is. And as is tradition, more Star Wars stuff. Here is a old Han Solo in the carbonite block next to this really cool Matrix figure. I've never seen this before. It's super cool, man. Big fan of the Matrix, and here's Neo in all his 2000s glory. Back to the video games, because that's why we're all here. Here's a PCFX. It's loose for 27,000. I've seen it go in the box for this price, so I'm leaving this one here today. And look at these PSPs. There's so many of them. There's pink, blue, red, every color of the rainbow. I've never seen this orange one in the front. All different sizes, and even some Vitas to the right there. Okay, I found a little corner to do a quick haul check. Here's some of the stuff that I got. I got the Game & Watch for the Game Boy Color, and this Luigi Wiimote is actually, I'm really happy I got this. It's got the sleeve for it and everything. Usually this goes for like 1, 2, even 3,000 yen if you're unlucky. It's a bit all over the place, but I'm generally pretty happy with my haul so far. Let's keep on shopping, because there's still a lot more to be discovered. Here's a nice little rarity, a Sega Partners Edition of the Dreamcast. Available only to the members of the Sega Partners Club. It features a metal badge signed by then Vice President of Sega Shoichiro Irimajiri, and it would have the buyer's name underneath that signature, but it seems they scratched that part off here. Anyway, here's some AV Famicoms for 11k per piece. That's loose without a controller, so a bit steep if you ask me. And on top of that, some uncommon consoles like these GameCube and Game Boy Player sets, a Virtual Boy, and this Final Fantasy Type O HD edition of PS4. Looks really cool with the red and black there. Now I ran back to the PlayStation section, and I'm really glad I did, because I found this Einhander for 3,300, way below what other locations are asking for this. It seems like someone found this, ran around and put it back, but I'm happy they did, because this is going with me today. Here's the rest of their box consoles. We have everything from Super Famicom all the way over to PlayStation 4. And there's even some PlayStation 5s above there. And I just wanted to mention that since they also have modern consoles, even if they're secondhand, it's usually a lot cheaper than retail. So here's the recently released PlayStation Portal. It's kind of cool to find this in the hard op, since this barely came out about a year ago. But yeah, I don't know if this is cheaper than it is in the West, but here it is. And they also carry modern games. Here's Astrobot for the PlayStation 5. Right next to Like a Dragon 8, another game that I'm really looking forward to playing someday. I don't have a PlayStation 5, but I think this one also came out on PC. And I think this is another one that like very recently came out. Here's Silent Hill 2.
Sure. Do you think you're overdoing it a bit, Matt?
Well, yes, because
You out here buying Shrek VHSs?
I literally just got a VCR the other day. I got to test it.
Okay.
So why not? What better thing to test your new VCR than Shrek? I mean, honestly.
What are you looking at, sir?
Game Boy games.
So this is the line for the register, which is all the way at the other side of the store. But yeah, this is gonna take a while. This is gonna take a while. All these baskets full of stuff.
Since the line for the cash register was going to take forever anyway, I decided to go back to the junk section, which seemed to be a bit more accessible right now. This DS Lite seemed to be a good repair project, but it didn't turn on, and I have enough of these as it is. But cool that this was just laying out there. And it seems to be that they took all the Mario 3s from the surrounding area and put them in these junk bags. These were only like 300 yen a piece, so that was a really good deal if you're looking for these. Unfortunately, I'm looking for games with boxes, but this Goemon 2 was also a pretty good deal. If this is just all you're into and you're not afraid of repairing your stuff a little, there were definitely some great deals to be found in here. Like this 300 yen raid on Bungling Bay. I'm always looking for older LCD TVs to play my retro stuff on there, but this DSi next to it was a really good deal at 2,000 yen. It said it was completely working except for the R button, which was sticking, and it was all really scuffed, and I don't think I can realistically repair a DSi. But I think for 2,000 yen, a lot of you would definitely be able to make this into a really cool project. Again, since it's a hobby off, there is a ton of these soft vinyl toys, these Sofubi, there's a lot of Ultraman, Godzilla. I have no idea which is which because I'm just not into any of these franchises. But especially on the live streams, a lot of you tell me that you're really into these things, and I gotta admit, they do look really cool. Okay, time to stand in line for real this time. While standing in line, I got to the soundtrack section and I found this Pokemon Snap original soundtrack. This was actually bundled with an N64 back in the day in Japan. Super cool. I'm definitely picking this up for 500 yen. It's these mini CDs. I don't think we've had them in the West like this, but they're very fun and very collectible. They usually don't hold more than 1 or 2 songs, but in general, there's a lot of video games that released soundtracks on a format like this.
You can't cut in line, bro. You can't cut in line.
Well,
2750?
it's not bad.
I'm sure it works.
Yeah, they say it
These
works.
things don't.
It says it works. I mean, for that cheap, to have like a backup.
2750 is like, even for parts,
Yeah, that's
you're pretty
kind of-
handy with the
that's kind of-
soldering iron. So, man, this is gonna, it adds up.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's
You
why-
got
I
your.
thinned it out a bit.
Okay. I was gonna do that, but now I'm in line and I'm all the way here. So.
I still can't believe, like, it's probably like half hour in, spotted an SG-1000 in the junk area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where? Like just on the shelf?
case, just chilling on the side.
How much was it?
5,000 yen.
Oh, yeah. We're almost at the cash register. It just keeps getting more.
It's crazy that even on an opening day, like a grand opening celebration, people are still bringing in stuff. This is an entire haul that someone just brought in to sell. I always feel bad when I look at my hauls from these trips and think to myself that maybe I bought too much stuff, but here's a person literally lining up 3 carts worth of anime figures to be loaded up into their car.
What's the haul for today? What is this? Whoa, May Plus.
I hope. I didn't even check.
Does it got the GPS in it?
Does it have the GPS?
Because that would be like really good. How much was the Scorpion? Oh my god, I'm so jealous. There it is with the GPS inside.
This still works.
Yeah, 500 yen too. That's like, I've seen it, bro. Never seen this in the box. I'll buy that off you right now for 600 yen. That's profit right there. Man, you get the Scorpion too. Stuff like this gets me banned, but now we're not live streaming, so we can just show it. So all in all, how was it?
Pretty chaotic at first.
It calmed down really quick.
There was a lot of pushing. It
Yeah.
did calm down after a few minutes.
It did, yeah. It's not as
Some
crazy.
guys were like squeezing by me, and I'm like, I got here first. Wait my turn.
Yeah. I got pushed a couple times too, and it's, what are you gonna do? Scott, is that the whole haul? Bro, you bought the whole, you're the reason why the junk section was gone. Look at that.
And I was number 65, dude.
65. Yeah, I was
Had to
number
get on my
5,
level,
bro.
This was in like pristine condition. They probably used that like once, so that was great.
Oh, F1 race.
Yeah, 1,000 yen, not bad for that. Someone must have put this back because,
Mortal Kombat 2 for 2K, yeah.
yeah, like that was.
I kept finding people putting things back. Every
Yeah,
time I did
that-
like a new round,
Yep, that's the play, man.
that's how I found 900.
This was a cute little PlayStation 1
I like
for
that.
1,000
Yeah,
yen.
yeah,
I took a stab at
That's
this
a
mega
good find.
like
Oh, you got the SG1.
I did.
1,000.
I
Look
did.
at that.
That was hiding in the glass case in the junk on the side. Nobody
It was
noticed
all the way in the back, wasn't it?
No, it was on the
Look at that.
side. It was literally like if you looked at it from the side, it was clear as day. But if you looked at it from the front, you wouldn't notice it.
Look at us nerding out about this.
For 5K, like that's a steal.
All right, that's it for another hard off opening. It was my second one ever.
Yeah, same.
And Alex literally does this a lot.
This is my 4th one.
My 4th one. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. Matt, you can find him at twitch.tv/MegaMatt. He has a YouTube channel, Instagram. I'll put all of that in the description. And Alex is very active on the socials, such as Blue Sky and
Sky
Twitter.
and
Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.